We read comments. We talked endlessly. We have chosen a property. We're ready to go forward. What does it look like to make a historically bad decision? Well, kind of like this. Do you want to say it or me?
You say it.
All right. Everybody, get ready. We're going to Crawdad Creek. In the last video in this series, we showed you two different off-grid properties that we are thinking about developing our off-grid homestead on. And we're trying to pick the best of the two. They couldn't be any more different from each other. Sunny Mountain is a high hilltop with lots of sun, beautiful views, but no water or pasture. We then showed you Crawdad Creek, the complete opposite. A dark valley that's full of life and water. We asked you, the audience, to comment and help us decide which would be the best one for us to choose. Hundreds and hundreds of comments later, hours and hours and hours of discussion. And we have decided Crawdad Creek is the best property for us to build our off-grid homestead on. Or so we thought. Kay really wanted Sunny Mountain, but we talked about it, and the fact that Crawdad Creek has water, I mean, we could move livestock there tomorrow. There's water and there's things growing.
There's things growing.
There were a ton of great comments. I really liked the people who mentioned.
You liked the people. The other people I didn't like.
I really liked how many people focused on Crawdad. The fact that there's already an existing ecosystem and water and plants. So I'm really excited about that.
And I'm not a sore loser. But Sunny Mountain did have a lot of good comments too. Gave us a lot to consider. But we're going to start moving forward on the Crawdad Creek property.
There were a couple parameters to get Kay to agree to move to Crawdad. One of the comments I actually really appreciated, because although I've thought about it in the past, with this project it didn't cross my mind. The fact that the creek is a wet environment, animal health will have to be something we watch. So we have to find a piece of property,
like a
location within this property where we have both privacy but also dry, higher ground. We don't want all our animals in a muddy mess getting sick. Shall I go blaze a trail?
Yeah, if you can get that trail in, then we can go, all of us, and kind of get an idea of where would be a good house location.
Let's go, Crawdadders. Let's go! Having decided on Crawdad, it was time to pick a spot for a house and figure out where our driveway would go. This required a little bit of bushwhacking. Ready for adventure, our brave group of explorers headed deep into the bush.
We have a lead amongst us.
Stand back.
Our goal was to find a spot that was private and that had enough high, dry ground we wouldn't have to worry about the health of our animals. After toiling in the jungle for what seemed like hours, because we forgot the snacks in the car, we had eventually found a spot that was both bright enough, high enough, dry enough, and still private enough where we might be able to set up a homestead. So now we have a potential build site at Crawdad Creek, but it's really far into the property, which means a very long driveway and a couple of creek crossings. Can we build this? Time to bring in the experts at AJM Earth, also known as Mom and Dad. Okay, we're back at Crawdad, and we're going to plan our great entrance into the Crawdad Creek. Bridges, dams, roads. We're gonna see if this is feasible or not. My parents run a business called AJM Earth. They go and help people on properties do some extraordinary things, and oftentimes they're working with bridges, dams, ponds. They were the perfect people to bring in and help us figure out if we could make it to our potential build site. We're back at Crawdad Creek. Our goal today is to figure out what kind of road are we looking at, dams, bridges, and then what this would all cost to see if we actually can make this property work, because we love this property, but you've mentioned in the last video, it is going to take more money to do this. Yeah, so let's go look. What do you guys want to see first? Should we go right to the creek?
Sure.
All right, let's go over to the creek and see.
One of the creeks.
One of the creeks. Pretty hard to tell because this property is so thick with forest, but there's actually about 4 different creeks that run through this valley. To get to the location where we'd like to build, we're going to have to cross the creek at least twice. I wanted to know if we could actually do this and get an idea of what it would cost. Just don't slip, it's pretty slippery. We'll go right to here, Mom, then you can show. So we're going down to the creek right now, and I mean, so much of what we want to do here kind of is because this creek is here, and we could dam this up and put in some nice little swimming holes and stock it with fish, and it's actually flowing pretty nice right now. Is it possible to create these ponds, because we'd have to get over this stream to where we'd want to put the house for the privacy? Can you have a you know, like a dam and a swimming pond, fish pond behind it? Can we build all that into one?
Oh yeah, that, in fact, between us all putting our heads together, that's something that Dad would be able to engineer.
Yeah.
But the building of it, I can throw sketches together that can show you what that end result would look like, so you can see
that would be great.
what the runoff, where it would run off to.
So
Well, if you want to travel over the top of it, it also has to have a spillway. So then you have to have some culvert pipe under the top of your driveway. So as that water comes up, it can flow under your driveway. So this is a pretty sizable pond right here.
After looking at possible waterworks we'd have to do, we started to focus on the idea of putting in a driveway. Dad had some pretty basic rules to remember if you're thinking about developing a property when it comes to your driveway. If someone is watching our videos and they're like, they want to do this, right? You, AJM Earth, you guys do this all the time. You go to new properties and people say, oh, I have all these dreams, I want to do all this stuff. And you say, well, that's a great dream. Here's how much that's going to cost. And then they go, oh, well, maybe I want to do this.
Yeah.
What do people have to consider when it comes to what we're talking about here, right? Roads.
Yeah.
And bridges and dams.
Yeah.
Getting into a property like
Real
this.
expensive.
What do people need to remember when they're looking at a raw piece of property?
Well, the clearing costs, getting the driveway in, getting the utilities in, and that may be sewer, water, it may be just water, maybe just electricity. Clearing the house site here, it's heavily wooded.
Yeah.
So you got to have,
And
not only, you know, a lot of people can cut down trees and burn the brush,
Yeah.
but then you got to stump it.
yeah,
You
and
need
one
a
of the
good-sized
things
machine to
a
stump.
lot of people said, well, what about timber? You can get your property timbered,
And it's
but
gotta
the
be big
trees
enough. It's
need
gotta
to
be
be
big.
valuable. And when I
Yeah.
look around here, that we have a couple. There are, but
Yeah.
a logger's not going to come in for 5 trees.
Right. You
he
need
wants
a
to see,
sizable piece.
and this piece has actually been timbered within the last, I think, 50 years, which
Yeah.
means generally, you know, they took the big ones and we're
Yeah.
waiting for the next batch to come up.
It's second growth
Um,
or third growth. Whatever
You know,
it may be.
so, you know, for somebody watching, is it just like keep your driveway short, find a place with a shorter drive, or like we
Yeah.
on the other one, find a driveway that's done?
Yeah, if like on that other site, the pluses are everything's done. The driveway's in, the drainage under the driveway is there, the whole site is cleared and stumped,
Yeah.
and it's basically scrape off a house pad, drop in your foundation, and build.
Even if at
And
cost.
you're going to be off grid, so you don't have to worry about running any utilities.
Yeah. Well, if you guys are looking for, if you want to DIY it and you want some consulting help, we'll have a link to AJM Earth where you can reach, whether it's designing, mom does all the designs, dad can help you with pricing, planning, everything he just listed off. He can help you like he's helping us. Well, we beat around the bush, figuratively and literally, enough. It was time to figure out what was this going to cost us to put our own driveway to our potential build site. All right,
So we're talking about the driveway here.
yeah, I mean, we're standing right now. This was the first site that we thought we would want to come to and possibly put a house. When we're looking at like a road, I mean, expense-wise, time-wise, just to get here and then across, what are we looking at?
Well, you're looking at thousands of dollars just in machine work. If you're looking for an exact figure, I'd have to go back and measure and calculate and do some takeoffs and that sort of thing. But the real expense is over here. You've got some deep ravines to cross. We're talking large culvert pipes and filling to get across those, and you've got 2 or 3 of these.
If you had to guess, to get a driveway here and then maybe a stream or 2 over, just a quick guess, what would you say dollars and cents?
Oh, you'd probably be $50,000
Oh, man.
right here. Culvert pipe and gravel and machine time. That's probably on the shy side. It's a lot of work here. You have to strip off all the organic here. You got to get all the trees out of the way. You got to run some berms around the top or drainage around the top so your driveway isn't overrun all the time, because everything is uphill here. Your driveway is down at the bottom. So you have to shed water all the way here. Now, you got a lot of room to do it. You could do it with open culverts. It's easier to do it that way here.
Yeah.
But still, if you're talking about a lot of time and money. So, although it is a beautiful site, I mean, just beautiful, all the water and the potential for the ponds, but compared to the Sunny Top property, that driveway's in, it's all cleared already. You are lots and lots of money ahead there already.
Kay said if I could build her a bridge and get her that privacy, she'd be happy to live at Crawdad Valley. We can do it. We can put in the road and we can build the bridge. But it would pretty much blow the budget that we had in mind for this self-sufficient, simple, and super affordable homestead. What are we gonna do? This is okay. In here.
Okay, so.
Good news or the bad news?
Oh, I guess bad news.
All right, we went to lay out location for house. How much would you want to spend on a driveway?
Don't driveways just exist in nature?
You know,
5
all
grand.
things. $5 grand.
5 grand.
$5 grand. That's the price.
That's a price. That's a price.
Grampy's estimate. Given there's probably 2 creek crossings.
So that's more than we thought. It's not just the one, it's not like one bridge, you're saying.
1 to 2 creek crossings to get where we'd want to be for privacy, for good hard dirt. Like, if we don't want to build right next to the road,
I don't.
which we don't.
It's not a like freeway, but it's a busy road.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
somebody
busier-
flew down it and Dad was like, "Oh man, see, there you go." Like while we
Yeah.
were there, somebody flew down that road.
Yeah, I think it's busier
Then it
than
feels.
we thought it was.
Yeah. I want to say $20,000 to $50,000 in driveway expense.
20 to 50? What? That's our entire budget.
So
That's like the house budget.
That's like what we
All
want to
we'll
spend
have
on.
is a driveway.
So we'll have a nice driveway to a creek. Okay, so that blows our budget.
yeah.
My dad said it again, like any amount of money and time and machines, sure. We could make Crawdad can be everything we wanted it to be. It can be everything we like imagined it to be. But we don't have unlimited money. We don't have unlimited time with machines. We have a budget. I'm the one voting for Crawdad here, right? Like I wanted to move there, but even I can see This is to get to where we are on Sunny Mountain.
Right.
Like, Sunny Mountain has a driveway.
I never knew driveways were worth so much. I get that I get that, you know, it's got potential. Both properties have potential. I just feel like, you know, when you're breeding animals, you're trying to improve on anything you have, right? We love our cows, they're the best cows ever, but we're always trying to improve upon them. That's the whole point. Both of these properties, they're beautiful. We love them, they have potential. It's like Crawdad Creek, it's beautiful, but it's got a bad personality. So it's not as easy to see the flaws with it.
So good.
But it has its flaws, and they're kind of like...
Sunny Mountain's a real butterface.
So Crawdad Creek's like beautiful, but I don't want to keep this cow around to breed it because it's a pain in the butt.
You've literally got rid
Like-
of beautiful cows that had bad personalities.
Well, I'd like to.
No, you have. We got
Who?
video proof. Massachusetts.
Oh, right. So now I feel like we've got no property.
Yeah, I think after going there with Dad, it's clear, like, we picked the wrong property. This is wrong for us. We picked the wrong property for us.
So these are our two options, and now I feel like this isn't gonna work on either property.
Well, I asked you if you wanted the good news or bad news first.
That's why I always go bad news first. It's better to be.
I haven't given you the good news yet.
Okay.
I'll give you the good news in the next video.
You found $50,000 on the road.
As we were looking for a driveway location that would cost us $50,000 to $70,000, we decided to go visit Sunny Mountain one more time. And Mom and Dad had some really good things to say about it. There might be some hope.
Go on.
We'll talk about that in the next video.
But you're gonna tell me now.
But do I tell you now?
Yes.
Okay, so while you're waiting for the next video, watch this video, which tells the story of that cow that was beautiful but had a bad personality, and learn about the cow we replaced her with and why.